Uh, Hello, Ralph. Excuse me. I was doing a little housekeeping. My new vacuum. That's right. New to me. Hello, AJ. I didn't know I could get excited about a vacuum, but I did. There was some split rings on the floor. Yes, there's one right here. Just found it. But so I was walking the bean to school, and on the way, in somebody's trash pile was a vacuum, a cordless vacuum. And it was a Dyson. And I was like, that's a nice vacuum. Those are pretty expensive, I do believe. So I reached down and pulled the trigger and it came on. So, okay, it works. So I kind of sniffed it. It didn't smell like they had cleaned up any excrement or anything. It's pretty nice. And had the charger, the wall attachment, and another attachment for the end. And I said, I'm going to come back and get that. So dropped the bean off, walked back home, got the truck right up there, threw it in the rig. It rode around the back of my truck for a few days in the weather. Probably got rained on. So I got on the Google machine. I said, I wonder what this V15 Detect Dyson costs if I wanted to buy one new. $7.99. I said, and that's not $7.99. 700, boys. I said, $800 vacuum. Dude, it's been laying in the back of my truck for a week. It laid out on the street for I don't know how long. I've been cleaning everything with this thing, and it works like a damn charm. It is a badass piece of machinery. I don't know why they'd want to throw it out, but battery still holds up good. Sucks good. It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. So I should clean it up and sell it. Could be haunted. I don't know. I don't think so. It's got good vibes. I didn't get creepy vibes from it. But it's nice. Nice. Especially for free. But if it's haunted, I'll just put it out by the road and let somebody else take it to their house and get spooked. But that's about the better news of the week. The bad news is my father walked by and jinxed me. So my exhaust fan, it's been making a bunch of racket for months now. Like, it's been loud and clankety clanky. And I just turn it on and it eventually shuts up and keeps going. Well, yesterday my dad walked in the paint room and he said, "What's wrong with your fan?" I don't know, it sounds like it always does. And he said, "Sounds like it's about to die." I'm like, it does, but it keeps going. Dude, it wasn't 10 minutes later that thing went clunk, 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 and shut down. So, dude, you put that into existence. Like, it had made the exact same sounds for eternity, but until you mention that it's like about to die, it dies. So the reason I used the fan motor I did is because they were readily available at Harbor Freight. They were stacked up by the dozens. You could just go in there and grab one of these things and leave. And they were $100. Well, guess what? After that one crapped out, I thought, no problem. I'll just go buy one from Harbor Freight and throw that one away, get a new one. Well, guess what? They discontinued the damn sucker. I did clean the fan. That was probably the problem. Was that it got it didn't know what to do being clean. But yeah, Harbor Freight does not sell those anymore. So I found one on Marketplace, the exact same one, which I need because my duct and plumbing all kind of fits how this machine's built. So I get on Marketplace and I find one, $75. It's like it's a little pricey, but sure. So I message the feller and I say, let me come pick this up today, like now. He messages me back about 4 hours later and says, I'm out of town until the 10th, but then you can come get it. I don't need it on the 10th, bro. So we start Googling, and I have requirements. I need 660 roughly CFM for my room to be the appropriate amount of suck. So I start looking around, and all the everything I find in that kind of range is like really expensive. They're like $400 or $500 for a shitty fan, which I don't like. You can tell they're made probably side by side with the Harbor Freight, but they're like 6 times the price. So found one on Amazon for $169. So I sprung for that one. It should be here on Sunday. And then when that guy gets back in town, I'm going to go buy his and have a backup. So I'll have 2 fans. And but I can't do anything till Sunday, which blows. So I've been cleaning, been vacuuming. I got it sucks too, because I was kind of had the juices flowing. I was in there painting, and I had the juices were flowing good, and they got shut down. But this was the last plates I painted. Name this color. I need my white paper. Anybody know? Not Japan crawl, but the same pattern. I do need to do Japan crawl. I thought about doing a just do a short run of all the badass Lucky Craft crawl colors. I believe that one is summer crawl. But Japan crawl is sexual. Although you need a transparent base, but I could get it. I could walk around that. But I'm trying to think. Lucky Crafts had some weird ones. They have one for every season, I guess. They have a winter crawl, they have a summer crawl, they have a spring crawl, they have a fall crawl. But yeah, I had the other ones ready to go. And I started adding some color to them, and then the fan took a shit, and now I'm without a fan. Hello, Builder Dude. I'm exhaust fanless, so I'm sitting here vacuuming with my found on the side of the road vacuum and cleaning up stuff. I guess it's a good opportunity for me to like clean things. Little Rich, what's happening? Yeah, trying to get the office here a little nice and tidier. You know, the huge. But I shouldn't have cleaned the damn fan. I should have just let it rip. That was my worst mistake. But I might be able to. I don't know. I haven't taken it apart yet. It might be just a bearing, which is a strong possibility. And I think I can get a bearing. I can get bearings for that thing for like $50, which would be cool. And you can upgrade the impeller, which I've seen people do. So I could order a replacement impeller and put new bearings in it, and it might work like a charm. So, let's see. It's like flushing the transmission on your truck. Yep. Don't do it. Just add fluid. It's raining. Burns, we've had some surprisingly good weather. Like it's been really cool in the morning. Got my first check this week, exactly 2 months. From who? The retirement people? Is that late? It's been hot and dry, but this week it has been nice weather this week. I don't know what the deal is, but early in the morning it's kind of cool. Uncle Sam. Is that late or is that okay? Oh, this is what I want to show y'all. Check these things out. It's called fall. Nah, bro. No, we get fake falls. Check these out. So, where's my plate? Where's my paper plate? How do you like that little eyeball accent? I think it's sexy as hell. I think it really makes the bait pop. Just one little sexy additive. Pretty sexy. Well, we did some what else did we do? Did some jackals. Did some OSPs, mainly Jackals. Mainly Jackals. I guess these are the Muscle Deeps. Pretty sexy, though. Pretty sexy. I was very, very happy with the way those came out. And the reason I'm showing them is because I've been delaying sending them to the guy because I like looking at them. I've really enjoyed having them sitting on my desk looking at me. So I have to take some good photographs of these and send them on their way, unfortunately. I don't want to, but I gotta send them back to their rightful owner. They're pretty dang sexy, though. They do have a clear coat. They have a flat clear coat on them, or matte. Matte, as they call it. Most people in the biz call it flat. Yes, they are clear coated. They are clear coated. This took forever, though. Any big M's, Bobby? There would be big M's coming, but I don't have an exhaust fan, so there's not until next week. I have to wait till next week. So here we are. No fall in August down south. No, you just get, because it still gets like, and when I say it's cooler in the morning, it's like, it's still 75, but it's not like, it's a less humid breeze, and there is a breeze rather than like being humid and being like an armpit. It feels good because there's not as much humidity and there's like a wind blowing. Hello, Kyle. Harbor Freight discontinued my fan I use for my exhaust in my paint room. Which is why I chose to use it, was because they were accessible and they were cheap, and it's Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight, I can't hardly remember them discontinuing a product. Like, I feel like they've had the same shit. They've maybe added some, but they've had the same stuff forever. Like, they've still got the, same stuff. So I don't know. I don't know why they got rid of it. And you can't buy direct from Central Machinery. You have to get, because they get it from China. You'd have to get it from Harbor Freight. I need to message Central Machinery and be like, do y'all have any of these just laying around? I'll come pick them up. Sell me like 10 of them. But oh well. That's how I like being able to go buy things. You know what I mean? Like when something breaks, being able to go like replace it and go to the store and get another. And I didn't think Harbor Freight was the type of folks to be discontinuing stuff, but apparently they are. I didn't think they were those kind of people. Temu Freight, probably. Let's see. Let's look and see what Temu Freight has. I bet they have it. Probably the exact one. Let's look. It probably takes 6 months to get here. There's a big one. There's kind of one. That one would possibly work. That one actually worked kind of good. Let's see. Let's see here. They've only got little ones, like little handheld ones. Need like the big Mamma Jamma. Not big, but bigger. And they could send it to me in parts. Like I put it together. I just removed a 60s exhaust fan from our upstairs bathroom runs, but just loud and rattles. Want it? Like a fart fan? It's probably good, dude. Like, there's probably somebody that would be like interested in that. The thing sucked up a lot of farts, though. How much volume do I want to move? 660 CFM is what my old fan pulled, and that's almost on the nuts to what my my room calls for. I forget the dimensions of it, but it's roughly there. And it would be easy, like getting a fan that pulls like 1500 or 1200 CFM is easy to find. Like I could find those all day, but it's like that in between size. But I might try to rebuild that one that's up there, and in the off season, which is easier to do when you have a working fan. The off season might even have American parts. It sucked up a lot of farts. It did its job. It's a hard life, but you could probably lube that thing up and keep it going, bro. Isn't this the off season? Yeah, I guess it is. I don't know. People always used to talk about painting in the wintertime to like get stocked up for spring. I think I missed that memo. I've never done that in my life. Maybe I'm missing out. I've just tried to do the same thing consecutively. American parts for American farts. That sounds like a damn Tommy Boy ad. Was that in Tommy Boy? Eight-inch portable ventilator. I mean, I could just fill the room because I've got that air supplied respirator. I could just paint with no fan and just fill the room up full of smog. That doesn't seem like a very smart idea. Probably not going to do that. I did January and February. don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. They all seem the same to me. Like I feel like there's maybe an uptick in February for me, but that was mainly years back doing swim baits for all these guys going to shows, and they were trying to get ready for all the shows in February. So I was painting a ton of stuff for them, like in January and February. Um, but quit doing that, so don't really have to worry about it. Morgan, did you get them taken care of? Finally starting to cool up. This is the first August I didn't think I needed to get a job. Well, AJ, I think that every month, so that's a win. That is a win. I think that every day. What changed, AJ? What changed? Viral plug knocker videos? It seems like people used to like you get more calls. I wouldn't say more. I never got calls from stores hardly, but occasionally you would. It seems like stores used to be a little more interested in getting something that was unique. More people complaining on your reels. It is the key. I guess for every one person that complains, you got a couple that are like, "Well, I'm buying this. I don't care what this dipshit says." You got to think though, AJ. What's sad is if you're a comment reader like me, how many of these people discourage other people from potentially purchasing a lure from you or me or anybody just because they want to be dicks for no reason other than they're just losers and they think that their opinion matters on a random video on the internet that they have no affiliation or anything with. They think that their entitlement and their opinion makes some sort of shit that they need to tell you that like a stock paint job is better. Why'd you paint it? But I'm sure there's probably, sadly enough, there's probably people that read that and it kind of pops their bubble a little bit, bursts their bubble, and they're like, you know what, this is fine. Like, I'm not going to support this guy. I kind of was thinking about it, but screw it. Screw it. How'd they bite, Darius? Tell us so we can live vicariously through you. AJ, since I have no fart fan to suck my paint fumes up, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do a little. Maybe I'll do a little Instagram video. So I went over there and I filmed a little short video, and then I realized that I think what I was doing in front of the camera was half out of frame the whole time. Pretty awesome. Peace, guys. Manson is pushing the St. Croix reel and saying it's the best reel he's ever used. I'm certain any dime with Tatula feels better than that reel. I mean, I'm not. I don't think St. Croix has any groundbreaking technology. It's all from that fucking whatever that Dogo factory or whatever who makes all the reels for everybody. Cal, you're exactly right. Builder Dude should be telling us fish reports or bird reports. That's funny. What do y'all think about Cracker Barrel? This is funny. Ecstasy. What do y'all think about this logo? I went to my dad's to pour tubes today and forgot the hooks at home. Come on, bro. How far's your dad live away? AJ, what can the plug knocker guy not pour those? Bobby, stick to the Shimanos, bro. Who's pinging me? Bobby. Pretty much. I will be after the birds tomorrow with Miss Builder Dude. That sounds fun. He only does weights. Interesting. I mean, they're the same, aren't they? Wonder why he didn't like putting a hook in the slot. Why is this dude prejudiced towards hooks? I want to know. He's just that busy. Oh, wow. Just making sinkers. That seems unfathomable. Darius, I hope so. Please shoot us some videos. Please do. BBC said he was going to come down this way, going on a fishing excursion. He wanted to come by Tacklecraft HQ and snoop around. Kyle, I couldn't tell you the last time I ate at Cracker Barrel, but that damn hash brown casserole I dream about. And you know what? I can make it. And I have made it. And I've made it damn near identical. The problem is you have to get dried like milk carton hash browns. And Costco used to sell them by the case. And they were cheap, dude. They were like dirt cheap. And they quit selling them. And that was the secret ingredient. Like, frozen ones don't work. Shredded yourself doesn't work. Like, you have to have those dehydrated, like dried box hash browns. That is the key. And I didn't really. That's pretty much why I quit going to Cracker Barrel, because I could make their hash brown casserole at home. Now I can't, because I can't get those. Morgan, it's just about the experience, man. It's about getting out of the house. Fight doesn't have to be good. Just got to be not lightning. Call up the builder dude when the weather is formidable for him. Sounds like builder dude has a set of requirements, atmospheric requirements for him to get the fishing pole out. So call the builder dude, make sure his atmospheric needs have aligned. And if they do, get that son of a buck up there. How far are y'all apart, Morgan? What's the closest lake for y'all to cross your streams? Not 100 degrees. That's a good requirement. That's a good requirement. Table rock. Not bass. Ooh. Taking brim snatching. Ouachita would be the easiest. Ouachita. 3 hours. So I was wondering if there's anything in between where builder dude could drive an hour and a half, Mason could drive an hour and a half, and then you can crank hogs together. Coming to Minnesota to fish out of Hella's New Phoenix, not unexpectedly. Not unexpectedly. I gotta find a box for this guy's fishing lures. Cam, it depends. It depends on how fancy your taste is and what the volume is. But typically start at $15 and it goes up to infinity. But for the most part, I like to have a also I like to have $100 minimum, so people don't just send me one bait. So if it's something pretty simple paint wise, it would need to be like 7 baits. Cam, which is which brings me up to another rage point that I saw. I won't name names, but a gentleman had some blank balsa wood baits made for a gentleman, and the guy said, "Do you need somebody to paint these?" And the gentleman who was receiving the bait said, "Nah, I got a guy." Well, the guy was not me. He was just some trunk slammer from wherever this guy lives. And I got a picture of what the guy's paint job looked like. And he charged the dude $15 to paint this bait. And after looking at the paint job, the painter should have given that guy $15 for him to practice on his baits, because the thing looks like hammered dog shit. And the fact that that guy had the balls to charge him $15 to paint his fishing lure that shittily offended me. not only did he say, no thanks to Painter Dude, I've got a guy. I feel like the guy really, like, where did that guy get that number? Because it's not because of any skill. Ugh. That really sent me into orbit. Got a perch, the clear minnow, and the blue crab from Epic E. Oh, you got the did you get the shallow ones? Whatever those things are called. What's the name of that bait? Come on, Cam, hit me with it. Warden's Timber Tiger. That's it. The Timber Tiger. If you got one of the newer perch Timber Tigers, those things were very sexy. Very sexy. Very sexy. Where is so gross. So gross. It looked almost like it got sprayed with a rattle can. It was pretty offensive. Those are them. Yeah, I was a big fan. I was a big fan of the perch. I don't remember what other ones he did. I don't remember the crab. I don't even think I took a picture of those. Are they on his website? Let me remind myself, because something happened with the crab. I'm trying to think what the crab was. Big Cartel. Morgan, no, dude, your shit looks like Da Vinci compared to this shit. Here we go. Oh, the crab was the modeled one. Yeah, that one was super cool. And then the ghost minnow. Yep. The crab was cool. So here's what I did on the fins. So I tagged the tips of the fins. If you look at the bait sideways, which is how a crab typically swims, is sideways. If you look at it, you know their claws, they tuck in front of them. So a crab swims like this. If you look at this picture and you kind of squint, that looks like a crab, dude. That looks like a little crab going. I don't have the 80, no. I have the 60, Ralph. Do you have a spare 80 laying around four-wheel drive that you're wanting to part with? I found one on Marketplace that was $800 a couple weeks ago. If I'd have had a spare 800 laying around to just dump on something, I would have bought it and threw it in the back. I wish I had an 80, just the 60. I don't know much about the brush baby Bobby. I think they look awesome. No, you need one. No, I don't have one. I wish I did. Yep, that's their little claws clacking. Cam, I'll give you a little tip. I don't know if it's a tip for you, and I don't know if a lot of people up your way do this, but we have a large population of small bass down here in our brackish water. And that typically means that a lot of them get eaten. And I've filleted my fair share of largemouth bass from the brackish water. And I can tell you that one thing is consistent, and I don't understand it, how it's possible. But 12 months out of the year, whenever you go, if you keep 10 fish and you fillet them, half of them are going to have crabs in their belly, and they're going to be about that long. And it's weird because it's like there is always a population of micro crabs swimming around that these fish eat. And I don't know if you've filleted many fish from the Chesapeake or if that's frowned upon or not, but I would be interested to know how many of them, how many crabs are actually swimming around up there getting eaten. Because our water is really salty where the bass live, like the fish I'm talking about, and they eat eight. That is like, I feel like that's like their number one meal. In the fall, it's shrimp, but like most of the time out of the year, it's crab. Pretty cool though. But the little crabs, they don't look like that. Shape wise, they do. Ralph says $6,200 to put a reman with 2-year warranty. Wow. AJ, they don't eat crabs by you? You should try one. JP, the crabs were sexy, I will say. I need to find what we started with. Where's Eric's? I'll show you what we were trying to match. We're trying to match his. Eric painted one with a Copic marker. And we were gonna. Here it is. And I said, I think we can do better. I think we can do better. So the modeled crab came out. Did he show these baits off? Did he show his special ones? Because I painted him like 3 or 4 special crabs. JP, I got real big into crab imitation baits down here. And I haven't been able to make like I was trying to order the drift crab from Japan like a couple of years ago, and it looks so good, but I couldn't justify it because I can't get bit on stuff that looks exactly like a crab. It needs to be. I can't understand it. I can't understand it. Where is the picture? Did I not send it? Oh, dude. Where's the picture of those? Kyle, what's happening? Hello, BBC. I know I got a picture of those damn crabs. I should. Where's those damn crabs? That's not it. I have a video. I didn't take a picture of it. There's a video. If anybody's curious what the bait looks like. Anyway, damn, dude, why did I not take a picture of that? Oh, there they are. I did. So I did. I put eyes right in the middle, like a real crab, and I did it as a joke, but not really as a joke. And I sent it to Eric, and I was like, "Do you mean to do like anatomically correct eyes and put them like right in the middle of the bait?" And he was like, no, I don't think so. It's like, you sure? Because it looks kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. My idea got poo-pooed. But Eric has about 3 of those that I experimented on. Maybe those are for the personal stash. Have you heard of the Masaran Budu hardwood from Africa? Have not. It is weird, Kyle, that you can throw like a voodoo and smash on it, but like a real looking crab doesn't do as good as you would think. Maybe I just hadn't found the right crab. John, they just discontinued the exhaust fan that I use. Unfortunately, my fan took a shit, went to go to Harbor Freight, get another one, found out they don't make them anymore. Or not that they don't make them, they don't stock them anymore, and nobody else sells them. So, yeah, kind of got hosed on that. JP, I thought it was a good idea too, but it was just one of those ideas that didn't make it to the finish line. It got poo-pooed when it got to the top. John, it was that fan. I should have not cleaned it. But I'm gonna take it apart and see if it's bearings. It sounds like it's bearings. I don't know what's wrong with it. It doesn't sound good though. I'm kind of interested to go up there and take it down and take it apart and see. It is BBC. You got an extra one laying around? The one horse? I'm still voting for a limited edition run of the sideways anatomically correct crab. Here's the perch we were talking about. The thing was succulent. BBC, I think they're gone nationwide because I searched every Harbor Freight in the country and it showed out of stock everywhere. And I don't know when they did that. Why not buy a different fan? Because that fan is set up to the ductwork in a specific way to where that fan fits. And which is why I got it. It's because I knew I would have to change it and I can get another one. So the orientation of the ductwork when I replace that fan will have to change to facilitate a new fan. That will all change, which isn't the end of the world. It's just more work than I want to deal with. Darius, there's multiple on eBay but the shipping is more than the fan is worth. On top of what people are asking, like people are asking $100 for the fan, but then they're asking $116 to ship it. So you'd be looking at like $240 once you pay all the fees and shit for a $99. And this is used, so you'd be paying more than double the amount for a used fan. Any gill runs, as in gill, native gills? Those haven't even crossed my mind in quite some time. Translucent Ozark crawls. Oh yeah, those were sexy. Those were sexy. That would probably fit the bill, Bobby. That would fit the bill because they were dark. I've got pictures. I've got hundreds of pictures on my phone of fish guts with regurgitated stomach contents. No, Kyle, I haven't remade my molds, and I haven't really wanted to. But I guess if enough people ask, I certainly would. But I haven't. There's some things I'd like to do different that just require time. Kind of like now, that would be a good time when you can't paint. It'd be a good time to maybe make some molds. I need each person in the chat. I might be able to squeeze one out of the mold I've got. Like if I was just making one, I could probably squeeze a couple out of it. Possibly. Hogue, who's the mold connection? I haven't bought a glide in 4 years. Morgan, I've forgotten what your glide looked like. I remember seeing it, but if you held it up, I could probably, like, if you put like 10 homemade glides in a row, I could probably pick yours out. But like what its facial details look like escape me right now. Make the molds out of silicone. John, you might be able to. I don't know. I think people don't do that maybe for the cost, but I don't know why you couldn't CNC a resin mold. Like I think you certainly could, but why don't guys pour resin in aluminum molds? Why do they only use silicone? Because it's cheap. But I mean, over the course of a lifetime of somebody building swim baits, like you buy so much silicone that just having aluminum molds made would be cheaper. I don't know, Morgan. I don't know how that will work. I've never experimented. Mole of the moles. I need to get those mole stickers made. Next time there's a deal, I'll get the mole stickers made. Well, I would say I'm going to go paint, but I'm not. Just pour a block of resin and CNC the bait. I bet. Now you're getting somewhere. Now you're getting somewhere. There you go. Just take a big block and use that as your base. Chop it out. Could do that. Seems like an excessive amount of sanding. I don't think there's any way around the sanding. Oh, yeah. It's a pretty sexy bait, Morgan. How many of those are known to be in existence? You know what? I wouldn't have been able to pick that out of a mold, out of a bunch of baits. You did a good job on your cutting the tail of that one. That's a good tail cut. This is true, AJ. This is true. Wonder if it would chip much. BBC is awaiting. No, there is no way to avoid sanding on anything. It is the bane of any kind of something that you want to make pretty. Good old Harbor Freight premium brush. There you go. Bobby wants one. Come on, Bobby. You don't want one of those pieces of shit. Let's see what I got on the wall. Let's see what we got here. Got that one. I don't know. I think I just experimented with this one on the eyes. This was number one. This is the one. This is the one I built. I built all the other ones off of. Numero uno, number one of one. This one was my favorite. And I don't give a shit what anybody says. That's the sexiest looking bluegill in existence. Don't care. Show me a better one, and I'll prove you wrong. Maybe I'm biased. You got that one still. I don't think that can be topped, dude. Like, I think that's just where sexy bluegill ends. That's it. Y'all can quit building them. You can quit trying. What's up, Scott? I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Why these are still here? Couldn't tell you. Last time you threw your native gill, I caught a bluegill on it and then had two bass T-bone it and pull each off. pull off each other. Mickey's is sexy, but all of Mickey's stuff is sexy. So I think it's just a given that Mickey shit's going to be sexy. Everybody else like tries. You know what I mean? Oh, check this out. So my neighbor, we were sitting over there having a cocktail under his carport, and he's like, "Hey, can you paint concrete?" I was like, "Actually paint concrete?" He's like, "No, paint something to look like concrete." I said, "I'm sure I can." He said, "I got a concrete guy that works for me, our concrete contractor." He said, I want to keep him on the good list. And so I want to give him a couple of crankbaits. He's a big bass fisherman. Like, all right. He said he's got, bass boat, all the shit. And I was like, all right. And he's like, I want you to paint them to look like concrete. I said, okay. He said, I want you to put an S on the side where the gill mark would be. I said, okay. And he said, and do some like kind of black scales on the shoulder. He said, that'll be good. Okay. And so I took the requirements and painted it to look like focus so you can see the concrete. Anyway, you get the point. You get the point. Pretty sweet. So he's got 2 of those. For the concrete guy. For the concrete man. So hopefully the guy likes those. No, the one with the crank down bell I never made. It was just a prototype. That one's pretty sexy. It's got a really nice paint job on it for some reason. Bebe sticks eyes on them. That's her favorite thing. Got a whole box of those things. The only resin I've dealt with was pouring one of the small foliform square bills with the resin dyed back. Caught a stud of a drum on it. Second cast, immediately lost it. I never cracked the mold. I opened it and looked at it, but I never poured a bait in it. Morgan. Never did. Couldn't. Honestly, I never really wanted to. Because they got bastardized. Because so many dipshits bought them and started peddling them like they had done something. That was the part that really irked me, where it's like, look at my new badass crawl. It's like, bro, you didn't do shit. Like, you bought a mold from a guy that's brilliant. Like, that's all you did. Ah, that's the kind of shit that gripes my ass. Look at my new badass crawl. No, bro, it's not. It's Jonas's that you put a shitty paint job on. Like, do not take. You can't take any credit for that. Like, if anybody ever sells one of those, it should say, "This is a custom painted Follow Forms crankbait by Jonas." But it's not the way the world works, so oh well. That's why I need to stay off the internet. Gets me all ranty. Ranty. That would have been smart, Kyle. Make them sinkers. Say, I thought you wanted them like concrete. The only thing I did that he didn't ask for was I put the shad dot on them, and I thought they looked kind of boring with just the S and nothing else on it. So I added the dot. I think it needed the dot. It needed something. Has someone bought your baits and not fished them? Probably certain ones, because I've done some. I've done some really like very artsy fartsy ones that I feel like I would have had a hard time throwing, and I'm sure other people saw them and was like, I don't want to fuck this up or lose it. Like, I like looking at it, and that's how I am. I got a lot of baits that I just like looking at. I rather look. I get more enjoyment out of looking at them than I would out of catching a fish on it. Like, I'll get something else to fish with. Like the one that I would have had the hardest time fishing. Let's see. I just saw a picture of it not too long ago. Where is it? Where is it? This one. It would have been hard for me to fish that one. I would have just looked at it. And I don't have one of those. Scott, luckily you have kids that can fish them for you. They'll put a dent in some of them. Let me get one if you ever do pour them. I want to see what comments I get on my paint reel. One of those crawfish. Oh, the Roman with the cherry blossoms. That one was cool. That one was cool. AJ, I could probably just pour you one out of just like straight resin if you're not planning on fishing it. If you just want to paint it, I could just pour it out of straight resin and it would probably be very clean. Just sink like a rock. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes when I paint, like some of that stuff, I paint with the intention that it's like a fishing color. You know what I mean? And some of them are just art projects that aren't really intended to be fishing colors, but they can be. But trying to think what else. Uh-oh. Kyle's back on the single train. That's fun. That's fun. Trying to go back through the catalog. Stuff I wouldn't fish. What's a bait I wouldn't fish? That wigglewort from not too long ago, I would not fish. I would keep. I don't know if y'all saw that one. I posted it in a story. I should have posted it on my feed. This one, I would not fish this bait. Too beautiful. Too beautiful. That bait would collect dust for me. The pencil, yes, the pencil. The pencil's only one-sided though. How many baits on the wall would I not fish? Maybe like 2, 3. Yeah. Less than 5. Dotting around for fishing women. All the stuff that I won't throw is beside me. That's where the untouchable stuff lives. For the most part. Most of that stuff up there is fair game. Buddy Mac? I have a Buddy Mac bait. You like Buddy Mac, Darius? I've got a big deep diver Buddy Mac. It's like a tap style. Or it's like a thinner DB3 kind of thing. Oh yeah, I do have that one. It's over there. It's over there. Yeah, the Twilight pink. It's still hanging up. Where? Oh, right. Right there. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know what's supposed to be in that hole. There's a few more I wouldn't fish. I just spotted one down there that I painted years ago. Besides the stupid eyes. I won't focus. What a loser. Never mind the eyes. Oh, there you can see it. I wouldn't paint it. I mean, I wouldn't. God, what a huge mistake putting those stupid ass eyes on there. I'm not gonna pop them off though. I should, but I'm not going to. Most of this stuff's just testers. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know what stuff does. That's how I acquire most of this shit. It's like I see a bait and I think, I wonder what that does. Buy a couple of them, try them out. Then you know. You have to have that's basically just nothing but test baits. Do you have one of every color model of the Bagley OGs? No. I probably I probably have had most of them. There was a time I've got a lot of Balsa B2s in weird colors, but no, because there's so many Bagley colors. There's a shit ton of Bagley colors. To make a video of repainting that rare Ed Chambers. Oh yeah. I could do that. What I need to do is I need to get just like a regular color mutt and then show that I'm like paint this foiled Peter T and then just paint over it and like show the other one. It like already primed. No, people do that. There's definitely people with like master color collections where they collect all the colors, but it's so many that I was never. I'm not a fan of all the colors. You know what I mean? Like they don't interest me enough that I would want like every color. Like I'd rather have 100 Tennessee shads than 100 in 100 different colors. Just personally. Kyle, they're out there. They're out there. There's definitely guys with master collections, and a lot. Most of them are by body style. Like they'll do like one bait in every color, or all kinds of different shit. A distant relative of Carter. What is this mean? Sounds cryptic. I don't believe that. How many OFO Bagleys? Not a ton. People send me KBD 1.5s to paint? No. No. Like I've guys who send me shit are usually very specific. Like it's usually an off the shelf bait, but it's usually not something that's like that, like Strike King stuff. Not really. I just painted some 10XDs and some 6XDs, but I guess if all the hard bait companies are chopping down their color lineup and selling less colors, that's going to be good for the painters of the world, because people will have their favorite colors that they can't get anymore. Then they'll have to have somebody paint them. But no, Ralph, I haven't had. I think the last person that sent me a KVD 1.5 to paint was Jordan Lee. That tells you anything. That was when he was with Strike King. That was when he was with Strike King, or it was shortly after. I think it was after his deal with Strike King kind of petered out, because he had a Strike King deal when he was doing his college stuff, and it was after that I think they parted ways. So he had parted with Strike King, but he was still kind of fishing their shit. That's the last one I remember, and it is chewed. Let's see if I can find that picture. Let's see if I can find that picture. Send it to me somewhere. Crack BDS. How do I fix it? I still think that one of the best baits I ever did was for Manson, and he caught a bass on it. There it is. From the man himself. That's when he started sending Berkeley square bills instead. Yeah. He said I painted some WECs for him. Some Berkeley stuff. That dude doesn't care. He'll throw anything. KVD 1.5. That was Jordan's first Coleman crawl. That was from the first batch I did for him. Could super glue a bill to a rock. Yeah, he wouldn't have a problem. He wouldn't probably have a problem getting paid. Yeah, it was. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 WECs, and then a bunch of there was some BDSs mixed in. There was some bull, whatever, Berkeley square bulls, some Fritz sides, normal shit. Make some spinnerbaits. I got a few. I'm trying to stay out of the spinnerbait game unless somebody can make them for me. I don't think I can sell spinnerbaits, honestly. I feel like as congested as crankbait painting is, I can hold my own in that. Spinnerbaiting, you gotta sell a lot of spinnerbaits. Like you need to be selling like 500 a week. And I can't make 500 a week, and I can't put together 500 a week. So I certainly don't think I can sell 500 a week to make any money. And the time it would take me to make 250 a week would not justify the amount of money you made on them. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a lot of work to make 250 spinnerbaits, and you get you make $500 for the week. Clay, they discontinued a product and it really hosed me. I love Harbor Freight. Finally made a good looking spinnerbait and it saved your ass on Pigstone. I'll be damned. It wasn't green. Ralph, I love the spinnerbaits I make, but and I guess, I don't know. Morgan, can you go buy is there a spinnerbait out there that you could go buy? Like if you wanted to like if you were in love with my spinnerbait and you couldn't get them and you wanted another one, is there something that you could go buy that would be like it? Definitely green. I had 2 spin cast machines. Kyle, it's not pouring them. Pouring them is the easy part. But if I had to paint them, that would be nauseating because I'm not set up to paint spinnerbaits in volume at all. Um, I would definitely outsource that. Uh, I would take my molds to somewhere else and have them spin them, or I could spin the heads and then send them off and have them painted by somebody and then have them sent back to me. Um, but um, put them together, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't really think the spinnerbait thing out when I got going, and it's just like a nauseating amount of like the amount of people that message you wanting everything different. Like, it's way worse than with crankbaits. Like, spinnerbaits were, I got more messages about, hey, can you make that but with like one number 2 gold Colorado and then a number 3 silver copper Indiana, or turtleback blade or whatever, Oklahoma. Can you do this with one chartreuse willow leaf and then a this on the back? I'm like, no, dude. Like, I don't know. Uh, I'm curious to the additional bend of the JDM spinnerbait wires. Yeah, they have some cool stuff. They have some. I think, Morgan, honestly, if you like the 3/4 ounce Hank, nobody else makes that one. I should probably just make only that one. I should probably just only make the 3/4 ounce and just like have that one, and just make it in like 2 colors with 1 blade combination. So we got over here. It could be this one. This would have to be a staple in the lineup. This is one of my favorites. Living rubber skirt, red blade, 7 Indiana. That one will get juiced. Morgan, you don't throw it like late in the spring and early in the summer? I mean, honestly, unless I'm going down here and I fish around the grass, I'll throw a smaller one. But typically, like just zinging around cypress trees, you can get by with that one. Depends on what level of nerd you are. But it's let it be known. Let it be known that what I learned about the Hank Parker when making this bait was that the Hank Parker is labeled as a 3/4 ounce spinnerbait when in fact it is not a 3/4 ounce spinnerbait. It's more like a 5/8. The head. So when you put blades on it and you put skirt on it and you put it all together and you make the bait, it's about 3/4 of an ounce. But just the head itself is not that heavy. It's less than 3/4. So some people or some molds, if you pour a 3/4 ounce spinnerbait and the head itself by itself weighs 3/4 of an ounce without the hook, without blades, without wire, without all that shit. So, and then once you put all that shit in there, you're getting into the 7/8 kind of weight, so it feels heavy. But this one, it's not a 3/4 ounce head, so it fishes different. You might buy like that from me as a 3/4 ounce, where the whole thing weighs 3/4 of an ounce. But you might say, oh, well, this one looks similar to it, and it says 3/4 of an ounce, whereas the head itself is 3/4 of an ounce, and the whole package together weighs damn near an ounce. Pryor does some pretty spinner baits. I'm not as keen to his arms lengths because I fish different kind of shit than what those are made for. They're good for what they are, but burning for bluebacks. But I don't burn for bluebacks. Let's see, where's a JP spinnerbait? They're fine little specimens. They're beautiful. They are beautiful. Like this dude put fucking scales on these things, dudes. You can't see it. It started to focus and I pulled it away like an asshole. But the shoulders of this thing have scales on it. Maddening. Travis, they never discontinued products, and they discontinued the fan I use to exhaust my paint room. It crapped out, and I went to buy another one and found out that they don't sell them anymore. And I feel like they sell everything. Like they never get rid of a product, and that's the one they get rid of. I told her the head was 3/4 of an ounce and the package was 7-inch. She told me the bait does not exist. It's true. Take it easy, Kyle. Clay, the fleshy swimmer is a real thing, bro. It is a thing. I was a doubting Thomas about 8 years ago. They sold one fan to a painter dude and never sold another one. This is true. This is true. There's one more floating around here that I got to go pick up from the dude in 10 days, but I have to find all the other ones in Mobile and go swindle them away from whoever owns them. I might have to put out a big mass message to everybody. Who sent me a message? AJ? Dang, bro, that's not half-ass ugly. It is a wee bit appealing. Pretty sexy bluegill, bro. You even painted the head. Oh, splatchy, splatchy. I feel like they always discontinue things, especially things that have patent issues. I definitely wouldn't think this. What I use is a dust collector. And I definitely don't think they would have a patent on the dust collector. But I feel like I've seen the same old shit in there, like especially like stuff like that that never goes anywhere. I didn't watch Blaylock throw the Bandit 200 in the last event, but it looked promising. Apparently, word on the street is Cliff Pace used one of those, a black crankbait, possibly a Bandit, many years ago up on the Mississippi River, and smashed on some fish. And it was like the secret of the pros. And I guess Stetson got tipped off. The Indiana Oklahoma, it's different. It doesn't look weird though. It only looks a little bit weird. Hildebrandt, money bags. Come on, bro. I picked up some Hildebrandt blades. I got this pack for $1. It's a giant inline spinner with two willies on it. I don't know what you do with it, like what its intended purpose is, but I saw gold willow leaf Hildebrandts, and the guy said, "I'll take $1 for those." He said, "What are you going to do with that?" Somebody cut the blades off of it. He said, "Oh." I said, "Yeah, I just want the blades." Clay, the covert spinnerbait is an interesting spinnerbait. It was touted as the spinnerbait guru of this generation, Jason Christie's perfect spinnerbait. And I don't feel like it took, for whatever reason. The public did not respond. Like for Jason Christie to say this spinnerbait is exactly like I would have built it. Like this spinnerbait is perfect. I would have thought that all the guys I know who love throwing spinnerbaits would have picked one of those up and said, "Spinnerbait's badass. Like this is the only one I know." But I don't know anybody that said that. Like I don't know anybody that likes them. I know a lot of people that own them, but I don't know anybody that's like in love with it. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like in theory it's a very well designed and made bait, but I don't know why people didn't take to the covert. Because the covert wasn't out long before it was in the sale section. I don't know if they were just trying to move them or what, but those hit the sale shelf like very fast. Ralphie, what's your favorite spinnerbait? What's your go-to? War Eagle? It's made for big blades. I think that's probably part of the problem, Travis, is they needed like a Screaming Eagle double willow spot remover. But you'll have a reputation for making the worst spinnerbaits. I didn't think they were that bad. I don't know. I don't know why that. I mean, I think they sold enough of them, but like I said, I don't. I think they sold a lot, but people like they sold. Let's say they sold 1 million of them to 1 million people. They didn't sell like 20 of them to like hundreds of thousands. You know what I mean? Like people just didn't like hoard them and like convert their covert, like convert their whole spinnerbait collection over to those. War Eagle. The Messiah says War Eagle has a flaw in their design, and then that is they nickel plate the arm of the spinnerbait, and it kills some of the vibration. Dude's dialed. We've had a couple. Brian, we had Keith on there. He talked about spinnerbaits a lot, but his service was so shitty you probably can't hear anything because he lives out in the woods. But now he's got Starlink, probably work better. The Messiah, he came on. He talked about spinnerbaits a little bit. I think that's where he dropped that nugget of information, was when we were talking to the Messiah on the Patreon stream. But I caught a lot of bass on a War Eagle. I never trusted the R-bend though, so I never threw them. You can trust an R-bend about as much as you can trust a fart. Who's the best spinnerbait guy ever? I'd probably say Hank. I like Stanleys. I like the old Stanleys. I don't like the newer Stanleys, but I like the older Stanleys. But I mean, you say Hank. I feel like Hank really like put it on the planet, like put it on the map. But I don't know. KVD, like, difference I think is like Hank wasn't around that long professionally, and it's one thing to film a, like Hank won a bunch of money on like in classics on a spinnerbait, but then he went to TV, right? Like catching a fish and selling spinnerbaits on TV is different than selling spinnerbaits and catching bass in a tournament. So, and KVD did that a lot. But I feel like the difference is we never really got the real truth from Van Dam. I feel like by Hank putting out the 3/4 ounce head, like he could have lied about that, but he didn't. And he told like this, you know, the juice pretty much. And I feel like he laid all that out there over the years on his show and stuff. I don't feel like Hank was really holding much back. I feel like KVD was holding back the eternity of spinnerbait knowledge. So maybe one day he'll come out and come clean and do a tell-all, because they're like I don't know. You'd see him. I remember seeing him one tournament, and he was throwing a living rubber skirt, like a flat rubber, and and you ask him about it, and you just get you get your Van Dam response. But maybe there's nothing more to it than, yeah, it just flows real good in the cold water. Maybe that's it. I guess maybe it's my fault that I was looking for like something else. But I feel like he had, I don't know, maybe he didn't know shit anyway. Maybe he was just like, you know what, I'm going to try this. Like it was all just like instinctual. It wasn't like in a playbook. He was just like, I'm going to try this. But I don't really believe that either, because that tournament at Grand Lake where he was throwing that brown square bill, that was not he didn't just grab that. Oh yeah, Jimmy Houston. He sold a lot of Terminators. I mean, BBC at this point, why not? What's the what's he holding back for? Seniors tour? Like he could give every bit of spinnerbait knowledge to everybody. Like if you could just transfer his spinnerbait knowledge to the entire Elite Series right now, it's not like somebody's going to go win a bass tournament, a modern day bass tournament on a spinnerbait. Correct? If you could transplant all his spinnerbait knowledge. On top of that, if you transplanted Jason Christie's, Kevin Van Dam's, Hank Parker's, Jimmy Houston's all to the Elite Series, would a spinnerbait win? No. Unfortunately. Anthony, I heard that Hank Parker's first check from Mans, when his spinnerbait came out, he got a quarter for every bait that sold, and his first check from Mans was for $250,000. I asked KVD at the Coastal Classic that Henry won if he ever throws an Indiana blade, and he said he thought he has won 500K on an Indiana blade. Perfect example, Stearman. I've never in my life heard or seen Van Dam throw an Indiana blade spinnerbait. Didn't know he had him in the boat. Like obviously, of course he did, but like for somebody to have won 500K on a bait, like that's fishing at a pretty good bit. And I had no idea that Van Dam ever used that. The only thing I ever saw him use was like a tandem with a Colorado and a Willow, and occasionally like two small Colorados. But I don't recall ever seeing the man throw an Indiana blade anything. Spinnerbait fisherman makes a good chatterbait fisherman. Yeah, I mean, to an extent. I feel like a spinnerbait is a more refined, takes a more refined angler than a chatterbait does. I think a spinnerbait requires a higher angling IQ than a chatterbait does. What say you, Stearman? Jig and spinnerbait. I mean, Clay, growing up around here, like when I first started tournament fishing, the dudes that kicked ass, you find out they're jig and spinnerbait guys. That's all they do. Throw a jig, throw a spinnerbait. Might throw a buzzbait morning early. Might have a couple little things in their bag of tricks, but for the most part, the hammers were jig and spinnerbait guys. And you typically, the guy on the front was typically the jig dude, and the guy on the back threw a spinnerbait, or the guy on the front threw a spinnerbait, and the guy in the back pitched a jig, whatever. But it was usually like a tag team of those things. Late to the chatterbait party, man. I was early to the chatterbait party. I won a shit ton of money on the chatterbait. I won damn near 20 grand on it. Locally. Before it caught on. That was way long ago. Way long ago. I'm in my old boat. Like 2008. Something like that. I don't remember what year it came out. The new progressive jig guy. Jigs only. Nothing wrong with jigs. Dude, there was a time in my life where I caught so many big fish on a jig like everybody else, but it was like when a jig really started clicking for me, it wasn't really, I don't know what it was. Like, I just started fishing one more, and it got to be where that was all I did was just like pitch a jig. And I would just go out and have 5 jig rods. Like, I'd have like a little, like a spider head, ball head with a weed guard with a, little half ounce, like you'd fish on the river for like spotted bass and stuff. I'd throw one of those. Have a couple different jig heads, like pitching jigs. But I'd have like 4 or 5 jig poles. That's all I do. I just go pitch a jig. And caught the shit out of fish, dude. Like, I don't know if it was like some sort of cycle that was going on the river or whatever, but you didn't really need anything else. It was bizarre. I've seen that happen though, where you like get dialed into a bait or a color or something, and you can just like for a whole year or two, you can just like do nothing but that. Morgan's getting bitchy. He's shooing customers out of the office. Like, yo, can we wrap this up? You done? Lost a lot of money to guys pitching a jig. Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of money on one doing that. Dragger at heart. Yeah, AJ's a different kind of jig man. He's more a kind of jig guy. He's not a jig guy. He's a stroke. He's a long stroke guy. Maybe a little hop in the middle. Fish a jig until you can't. That's pretty much what I did. I pretty much fished that thing until I just had to switch. And that's when I went into the the black and blue phase, where I just fished nothing but black and blue stuff. Because I think I transitioned from nothing but fishing a black and blue jig 99% of the time. And I was like, well, this black and blue jig catches them all the time. And I started throwing like a black and blue frog, and then I'd throw like a black and blue buzz bait, and then I'd throw like a black and blue crankbait. And like, it didn't matter. Like, I just caught everything on black and blue stuff. Very simple. Swing head. That's good. I like those. Gotta go. Don't delete. You hadn't missed much, Stearman. Hog cranking is out. Stroking your jig is in. No, stroking's that's for the 90s. Little brown jig with the jungle hook. It's a pretty sexy jig. I will give you that. I don't know. The biggest bass have been on a black and blue football head. I don't think. Dude, I bought some football heads. I bought all-terrain tackle football heads when I went to Kentucky Lake. I cracked them on those things. I don't know what it is about that wobble head or that whatever they call them, swing head. But I was casting side by side with a guy, and we were both throwing like an old monster. And I had just a regular like Texas rig with a weight, and he had a swing head. I couldn't get a bite throwing at the same fish, like on a point. And I'd throw mine out there and let it sink and hop it. He'd throw his out there, let it sink and hop it. And he was getting crushed. They wouldn't look at mine. I don't know what that thing was doing different, but it opened my eyes up. I said, why won't they eat mine? He's like, I don't know. I said, why does yours look different? I said, I don't know. So you're not doing anything different. Like same pretty much line. Like nothing was too weird. But I don't know. Morgan, you did. You did. I think it's in my box. Swing heads are freaking great. Clay, there's only one chunk. And that is the Zoom Super Chunk. But if Zoom is listening, make a medium. This is what the world needs. Maybe this is what Tacklecraft needs to design and tell Zoom to eat a dick. Where is John Hogue? I need you, John. John, are you there? Can we take a super chunk and scale it between a junior and a senior and make the most badass jig chunk ever? That's what the world needs. Now I got to delete this so Zoom doesn't hear. So the mole doesn't send this to Zoom and say, make this. And they say, damn, why haven't we done that yet? Because the junior is pretty small and the senior is pretty big. But right in the middle. Where's John? John, I need you. And your CNC abilities. Tell Zoom to eat it. Just need to make it a little more sexy. I don't know how you do that. I actually do know how, but I think, unfortunately, as much as I hate to do it, I think you have to get rid of the pork type body. I don't know if that would I don't know if that would deter action, but a Zoom Super Chunk does not stay on the hook very well. Factory about a new product. A factory? BBC? What in the hell, bro? Are you talking twerks from Reaction? I never tried those. I mean, I've probably gone through more net bait packet chunks than I'd like to admit. But day in and day out, if I reach for a chunk, if I reach for a jig, I want it to have a super chunk on it. Oh, the mole. He's calling Zoom right now. A Zoom call. I thought he was being serious. He probably is. Well, where's a box? I did now. I thought you were being serious though, BBC. I know it was so dry I didn't even pick up on it. I need John. Where's John? Let me text him while it's on my mind. Okay, I do need your mold surfaces. Zoom, Paca, Rage Crawl. I never liked Strike King plastics. They I don't know. They were too expensive. Like now, Zoom's expensive as shit. But back when Strike King started selling plastics, like they were like double what Zoom was. You could get a pack of Zoom Super Chunks for $2 or $2.50. They were always on sale. It wasn't that big a deal. No. My trailers from the smallest to the biggest are Z Crawl, Junior KO, Smalley Beaver, Speed Crawl, Paca Slim, and the Creature Hog. I never could get behind using a Sweet Beaver as a trailer. I know a lot of people did. I never liked the bulk of the body and how it changed the fall of the bait, and it was never a thing for me. But I did like the Smalley Beaver. To me, it made it. The Smalley Beaver made a better jig trailer than a regular size beaver. Can you design the perfect super sexy spinnerbait trailer? Maybe. I don't know. You know what, Marty, you say that, and I feel like I've had a design idea for just about every bait on the planet, like how I would make it. If you just, you made me the boss of Megabass and said, make sexy stuff, I would probably have an idea of just about every bait imaginable how to do that. I don't know that I've ever had the idea of how to make the sexiest, best spinnerbait trailer. I've always been okay with that, but there is a way. I just don't know necessarily what it is. I don't know what it is. I have to put my thinking cap on that one, because there hasn't been anything in the way of spinnerbait trailers that has changed in the last 50 years. So there's definitely time for a revamp on the spinnerbait trailer. Not that anybody cares about that, but Brian, that gets expensive with the bellows on the back of a blade. Zoom split tails, the only spinnerbait trailer I use. Yeah, I've got some of the old man's ones. Those things are hard as a damn preacher's dick, dude. Those things do not break. Zoom split tails, nothing wrong with them. That's all I use. They're great. but I feel like you could probably do something different. Hogue says the medium super chunk is definitely doable. Use the fancy plastic sturdy ones like Z-Man. All right. I gotta go be 3/4 of a ringworm has always been my thing. Yeah, a lot of guys. Who's the dude that put the ringworm on the map as a spinnerbait trailer? Did Clun do that? Was he the one that used it? I can't get behind the damn spinnerbait with the swim bait on it. I know Jason Christie's caught a damn million fish on it, but I cannot. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Clun was the. Who needs a trailer? That Ralph, that really gives me the icks, dude. Throwing a spinnerbait without a trailer, it makes my skin crawl. The swimming dinger. I can get behind that a little better. I have a bag with Clun on it from Walmart that I still use for the right spinnerbait. How about that? I think that's the part that bothers me, Morgan, is the profile. Like I don't like the way it looks. It just I don't know. I mean, number one, I don't like the way it swims. Number two, I don't like the way it looks. It's vanity. I don't know. I could get behind a different trailer maybe that fit better. Or a worm. You're one of those guys, BBC. BBC does seem like one of those types. One of those old geezers that you pull up at the boat ramp and he's got a chartreuse spinnerbait tied on, and then he's got like a 10-inch old monster as his trailer. It's like, yo, bro, what's up with that trailer? I'm like, nah, it's what I had on the deck. It's like, oh, cool. You know what y'all know those guys, and I do that a lot. But what do you put on my buzz bait? Anything. Trick worm, ultra vibe, whatever's laying on the bottom of the boat. I do not care. I will. One thing I used to do a ton was I would throw a black buzzbait with a white worm on the back. Not a worm. I would use a trick worm. But something that was like heavy contrast. Like if I used a white buzzbait, I'd throw a black something on the back. They get clobbered. Never had any luck using a worm as a spinnerbait trailer? No, I never did either. It was always too much. It just looked weird. I remember somebody was it Ken Cook that used to put that big ass grub on the back of his Heartthrob spinnerbait, which is a great name for a spinnerbait. Man, take me back so I can watch Ken Cook get me fired up to throw a spinnerbait, and I go buy me a Heartthrob. No, I don't do the horny toad on the buzz piece. Morgan's convinced me to try something, but other than that, no. I know, Morgan, you got me kind of scratching my head about that. Let me ask you a question, Morgan. Why not throw an inline buzzbait? Yes, we have secrets. We have secrets. I feel like walking around and going and vacuuming some more. Yeah, I like the contrasting colors. Kind of like the way I'm dressed. The way I dress, the way I like my buzz pieces. Skip the buzzbait and just throw the horny toad. Yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea better. Did you miss all the hellbouse jabs that he made about TK refusing to use a toad? Why is Harbor Freight pissing me off? Because they discontinued the one product that I built my spray booth around, their dust collector. They used to have them stacked up by the hundreds. Now, can't find one anywhere. They were dirt cheap. And I know they sold them. Like, I guess they didn't sell that many of them, but shit. Dickheads. Yes. They got rid of the 1 horsepower dust collector. Horny tube wanted to run sideways. I used to put a little, back in the day, I used to put a little split shot on the bottom of my frog hook. That's how I eliminated the horny toad running sideways or flipping over. All my frog hooks had I'd run like a 6-aught super line. I never liked the screw locks. I used them, but I preferred a super line, and I just put a little bitty split shot crimped around the hook. And they get knocked off, and you just crimp another one on. Sometimes I got really fancy, and I'd go home and I'd put epoxy on it and like encapsulate it, but I have seen days, though. I think I've talked about this before. I have seen days where the fish preferred, because I kept 2 frogs in my boat, like running frogs. I had Zoom horny toad and I had a Stanley ribbit. Stanley ribbit kicks more, makes more gurgle. It's louder. It's like step down from a buzzbait. And then horny toad's a lot more subtle. So I've seen days where you could throw a ribbit on slick, calm days where it was like super chill, and couldn't get a bite on a ribbit, but you could throw a horny toad and get smashed. And then I've seen it where you could throw, like when it was a little choppier, you throw a horny toad, wouldn't get a bite, throw a ribbit, get smashed. So I would always have to try both just to see. That's true, Kyle. That's very true. I'd still be knocking on doors in Texas. Hella has unlimited Gambler toads. I don't even remember what Gambler made. Horny toad is a very finesse topwater. It's good. Pressured fish, great. Calm days, slick calm days, great. When they won't eat a buzz bait, good bait. Tornado, yes. Let's see. Let's see where the tornadoes are. I got a whole box full of them over here. Or I used to. Where'd they go? Y'all see a tornado in here? There's a vampire. Y'all remember that one? Where'd the tornadoes go? Oh, yeah. That thing? I don't know if these still go for a bunch. They used to go for about $50 on eBay. Yeah, there's the couldn't do much. The old vampire. Vampire was a Christmas present one time. I always liked the packaging on the vampire. I never bought one until later in life. The Little Dream Pop. Did you catch any on it, Scott? The Google Bell. Welcome. Thank you for swinging in. Hopefully you're about to clock out. Let them pipes rest. Diamond head on the tornado. The hand pour. Was that the original? I've got the Bass Pro Shop, the little whatever that stinky dick dude was, a little old geezer that was on the package. JP, you didn't get the little one? I did them in a black magic scale, and then I did a frog one. Kyle, they say it's that thing gained its fame down there around you in the Louisiana swamp. That's where it really shines. If you like Leatherman, but just FYI to all interested, the Oil-Lite i3T EOS fits perfectly in the Leatherman surge sheath on the right-hand side. Good tip. Olight. I got the special tingling when I seen guys tying on vampires. Like, I'm getting ready to take your money. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody tie on a vampire in my life. Shoestring the boy. That's him. Yep. Shoestring. You missed out, JP. Those were I was looking at those a couple days ago. Actually, I was. I don't know where the picture is, but I was digging through pictures and saw them and said, "Oh boy, look at these." Luckily, I haven't been taking pictures of anything and everything. I just take pictures of stuff that looks good. Not that like looks good, but that's like extra special. So I haven't my photo album is not like super clogged up like it used to be. Used to, I would take pictures of everything. Which was smart. Oh, there they are. There they are. That's one of them. Where's the frog? The frog was sexy too, dude. The frog was super sexy. Man. The Dream Pop is up there with a buzzbait for me, more versatile. Yeah, I wish I had. I wish I had an ugly one. I'm gonna have to paint one like in a shitty color that I don't mind throwing, because the ones I have right now are all too pretty, and I'd feel really bad losing one. So I don't throw them as much as I should. I won't. I need a beater. The black one's cool. The frog was cool too, though. Very cool. That's probably my favorite bait to date. I think I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to do that, Morgan. I think I'm just gonna have to paint one bone. That's just very generic. Throw some matte clear on it. Just let it eat. I think all mine have rattles though that I have left. I have to look. I think I only have rattling versions, and the rattling version to me didn't walk as good as the. It didn't perform as good as the non-rattling version. Have to dig around, see if I can find one. A blank. Oh, better. You missed a big one? Damn, dude. I didn't know that. Condolences. BBC put the he put the Dream Pop on the map. I wouldn't say on the map, but he took it out. He got the bait, took it out like the next day or the next weekend after he got it, and caught an 8-pounder on it. All right, I'm gonna go try and be productive real quick before I have to go home. Good talking to you, bros. We'll do it again. My second biggest is on a Dream Pop 7-pounder. See, there was a tear going on where it was like BBC caught like an 8-pounder, Bobby caught a big one, like numerous 5-pounders, like that bait, like specifically, I've never seen the like big fish people are catching on. True, JP. This is true. Regardless, I haven't caught an 8-pounder on it in a private lake, so. BBC, did you lose that bait or do you still have it? No, Ralph, I like Matt. BBC's the one that doesn't like Matt, and he's the one that shits on it. No, I don't shit on Matt. I like Matt. I mean, it's sexy. That is sexy. It wouldn't be that sexy with gloss clear. Be kind of sexy. BBC, tell us. We're waiting. Do you still have that bait? Or did you lose it? I have a little one. Somewhere. Still have it. Good. There's my little one. I'll show that so we don't get ripped off. After I hype it up. All right, bros. He'll be good. We're going on a marathon stream here. That'll be good. Adios.